Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, I mean, I am so excited about the show today. One of the reasons I'm so excited about the show today is because um, the cybersecurity industry, community, information assurance, IT. I worked in that ever since I joined the Navy, and also after my service was complete, I stayed in that community. And I tell you that if you want a job for life, especially now with AI and all of the different things and technologies that are emerging and that will continue to emerge, I believe that you have to, if you offer the technology, you got to get educated on cybersecurity, information technology, information assurance, operation assurance. It's so many different facets of cybersecurity. And we got a university that is teaching these skills where, I mean, most of the time it take you 14 or 4 years or sometimes five from the engineering perspective. But San Diego State is offering these courses and these classes where you can attain the knowledge and receive a certificate uh, with this in 14 weeks in many cases. I mean, things that you learn in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, they teaching you how to do it in 14 weeks. And they would do, and we're gonna talk about all of those things because I got an absolutely fantastic guest that we're gonna talk with, and she's gonna break all of these things down. We talking about the one and only Dr. Winnie Callahan. And I can't wait to get this show started. But I tell you, I want everybody to pay attention. And if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, whichever platform you're watching on, whether you're watching on E360 TV, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, or over 25 other live streaming networks. Join in on the party. Join in and learn. I mean, get your kids involved in this because they can start out early. Because again, like I said, if you get uh, experience and certification in these areas, you got a job for life, unless you just don't want to work. Yeah. So uh, Michelle is not going to be able to be here with us today. She is working another job, and so you guys got to look at me the whole time. And I'm serious about this topic that we're gonna have today, and I just hope everybody pay attention. So, the title of today's show is San Diego State University Cybersecurity Academy, and this is the first time I don't know if any other school is that's doing this. I'm sure it might be some, but San Diego State is doing it. And the purpose of the show is getting to know co-director of San Diego State University Cybersecurity Tech Academy, Dr. Winnie Callahan. Learning what San Diego State Cyber Tech Academy, got to learn what it's all about. Discuss how San Diego State feels the major employment gaps in the career field of cybersecurity, and also learn about the free licenses to World or Hacker. We're going to learn about all of those great things. But let me introduce you to this absolutely fantastic guest, Dr. Wendy Callahan, a national renowned practitioner and contributor to the cybersecurity community. Dr. Callahan joined San Diego State in 2019 to lead a new major cybersecurity and emerging technology initiatives focused on education, training, and applied research. Dr. Callahan translate her decades of experience in consulting, business, critical infrastructure security, and to the basics on putting together curriculum and teaching and just educating, you know, many of us and many future generations on help filling the gaps in this cybersecurity community. Just like I said, AI, we talk about that all the time. You security is so important, and getting an understanding is so important. So, without any further ado, I want to bring to you Dr. Wendy Callahan. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I am fine, and after meeting you and that introduction, I'm a little breathtaking.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about this because I know that we have a major shortage in the cybersecurity community. Not just that, cybersecurity, that's a big umbrella. But just like I mentioned, the emerging information technology, AI, OT, network security, all of these types of things, and it's needed. We need the gaps filled. And most of it, Doc, I believe, is industry has been requiring people to go to a 4-year college or just take the certification test. Those certification tests is not easy. I
No, it's
mean,
not.
I probably own almost uh, every certification in the cybersecurity field, and those tests are not easy. So, can I want to start off? Can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about you, where you grew up, and what prompted you to help start this initiative in cybersecurity?
Well, I was born and raised in South Carolina, a little town called Clio, CLIO. And if you look at the map, you probably won't find it. But that was home. And I got my bachelor's degree from Winthrop University there. And then my first job was with teaching Defense Department schools at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And because of so many people in my family being military, that was my target. I wanted to be working with the military because of the respect I have for them. And so that was a good start. And I met who became my husband at Fort Bragg, and he was a very highly decorated Green Beret officer. Passed away in 2009. But boy, we did travel and we had a good time with the time we had for 38 years. So, at any rate, that's how it started. But because of his career, we moved a lot. And in fact, between working with different universities and with his career, etc., um, I've now made 17 career moves because of projects that I've been working on with agencies and different universities, etc. So the closets do get cleaned out periodically, but I'm passionate about it. I bleed red, white, and blue, and I really, really, really see the need to help our nation now because we are shorthanded when it comes to the adversaries and other people, and we've got to step up to the plate and make sure we get people that are capable and have the right ethics and morals to get into this field. It's critical for individual companies and it's critical for our Defense Department. So that's the driving force. I couldn't be more passionate about it.
Why do you believe that? I mean, our leaders in our country haven't noticed because they took away most of the technical stuff. Talking about when teaching it in schools. We used to have this in high school. We used to have all of these different type of things, but for some reason, somebody over the last 20, 30 years, somebody's uh, decided that that wasn't needed anymore, which I believe set us all the way back where we have to regroup, we have to retrain, we have to rearm right now. What are your thoughts on
We're wasting time now talking about it. And I'm not being ugly. I'm not being ugly, but I mean, that's how fast it's moving. And to your point, I began to notice when I was recruiting young people into the programs that I built at Nebraska, for example, I could get great kids, but so many were applying and They didn't have the background in the math and the science and so forth. And then to make it even worse, they wanted to major in, art history or sports and rec. And I could go down the list. And yet, when people coming from other nations to go to college in the United States, you could almost predict what was going to be on their applications. Math, science, chemistry, you name it. Everything was aiming toward the more technical fields. And we just weren't doing that. My personal feeling about it, and this is personal experience, when I was very young, as in kindergarten, someone showed me something, and I never veered from wanting to go into that field and move forward. Little young minds, if they're presented with something and you turn them on, you can't turn them off. But if you never give them that shot, where's it going to come from? We used to think schools were doing it. And to your point, I guess the schools right now, in many ways, they do good things, but they aren't doing some of the things that we need desperately.
And not just that, but it seemed like before we get to San Diego State and all that stuff, it seemed like that our nation would put more money in what we call the STEM programs and the STEAM programs, and catch them when they are 6 and 7 years old, and start training those young minds right now. Because you're right, when they are that young and growing up, they are just like a sponge. And as soon as they realize, I'm talking even as a young kid, that wow, and this is great because they already got their cell phones and all these different type of games. Why don't we take advantage of that? The government instill a lot more monies in the programs around the country and catch them, young, and then, let them understand and continue to grow.
That's a good question. And I've done several, actually more than several, summer programs for young kids and for Gen Cyber with NSA, etc. But it's just not enough to be able to make everybody aware. And we've got to do more, to your point, to get it turned on and done well. Because that is where the mind makes up a decision. The other thing that's kind of bad, and when I was working on my doctoral dissertation, I did a study about who's the most influential in getting young people into the right programs and helping them make determinations. And we didn't exactly find the people that most people would have thought we would. And that was kind of interesting. But we also found that a lot of parents with good intention, they would tell a daughter, for example, don't worry about trigonometry. That stuff's hard and you'll never need it. Duh. And then you'd have counselors at times that wouldn't reach out to gifted students. They'd wait for them to come to them. And, again, I'm not trying to damn anybody because I don't think it's deliberate necessarily at all. But we have missed the boat for too many years. And if the mindset is, I can't do it, my parents didn't need it for their jobs, why should I? We've got to give them that reason.
Hey, Doc, hold that thought. When we come back, we got to take a station break. Mindset. That's key. So I tell you, if you want to be part of this great conversation, regardless of which platform you're watching on, all you have to do is go to the comments. Ask Dr. Winnie any question you like. Become part of the solution. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like the man.
And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I am honored to be here with Dr. Winnie Callahan because she is addressing something that's, cybersecurity. That's so needed, not just in our country, but around the world. I'm telling you. But the only thing about them around the world in most countries, just like she had mentioned earlier, they send their kids here to the United States to get all of this knowledge because we haven't been taking advantage of a lot of the education, the experiences, the training that's needed for us to continue to be on top of the world as the number one superpower. And the only way that you can stay that way and protect your country and protect your allies and protect everything is have an understanding of what's needed. Cybersecurity is needed. And so if you want to be part of this conversation, just go to the comments. Ask this great doctor any questions that you like. I promise you I'll get you on the screen. Doc, now we ended with the mindset. You was talking about, I had to take a station break, but mindset is so important that our framework, our mindset is focus, meaning that our leaders, our schools, our community, everybody have a mindset that's focused because I believe we have to be able to see, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. And we cannot let this happen again with a lack of technology and people that are able to do the job. So how do people get the right mindset, though?
Well, I have an old expression. It's not mine. I don't know what sage gave it to me years ago, but God don't make no junk. And so kids need to know that they can learn and they can succeed. And a key to that is a mentor, to be honest with you. But being able to show from an early age the exciting things that you can do with math and science, etc. And yes, you can learn it. And I think we have that mindset built in from the time they're 3 or 4 or 5. You can't stop them. You can only encourage them. And so listening to you, sir, and watching what you're saying, we can win this battle, but we have to get together and make it happen. And I'm excited to be a part of trying to do that. And I've always, because of the many moves with my husband and all, he always teased me and said, you're going to teach for 1,000 years and never had tenure. I said, that's not a problem for me. I like moving and I like new experiences. And I've always told students in graduate classes where it was teachers being trained, don't ever say no to an opportunity. And don't ever introduce yourself in front of people. I'm just a teacher. You want to fail the class with me? That's the way to start, because somebody's teaching the brains and somebody's making it happen. And I've gone through my life. My career path is unreal because it makes no sense. But when I've been given an opportunity, I take a long breath and I say, sure, I can get that done. When do you need it? And then I start thinking, who do I know? Who do I need to contact? How can I pull the team together so that we can be successful? And I don't know if you ever ran across, and I probably shouldn't call him out, but I'm going to, a general by the name of James Cartwright. He was head of Stratcom at one time. And
Oh yeah, Jennifer, absolutely.
oh my goodness.
Four star.
He called me
Yeah.
in one day and he said, Winnie, I need something. I said, yes, sir. What do you need? He says, I want you to develop a program for all of my employees at Stratcom. I said, okay. He said, it's important to me that it's done and we do it quickly. And so I said, when do you need it, sir? You want to guess his answer?
Now.
70 days. I want 3/4 of it finished and I'll finish the rest. And I said, year. He said, you know what year, get it done. I bring that up because he was a driving force and very much ahead of his time in my feelings about what we needed in cyber and in technology. And consequently, he had us build a global innovation and strategy center at Stratcom at the University of Nebraska. And the goal was to bring the most difficult problems that the country was facing to this think tank. And let's find a new way to do it. Now, who would you think would staff that? Probably the brains, the people with all the ranks, all of that. No, he wanted kids. He wanted kids, bright kids. He didn't want them to say, we've tried that before. He didn't want to hear, that won't work. We've done it. And so the Global Innovation and Strategy Center was brought to bear. It was a $50 million initiative, and it returned greatly to the state of Nebraska. And some of the things that it was started for then is living now. And I'm actually here working on a project that came out of that effort 30 years ago. And the bottom line is we can't look at things the same way, and we've got to start leapfrogging in our research. We don't want to be just on the level with friends or adversaries. If we're going to be the leader of the big train, we got to be at the front, but we got to be good about it. And consequently, we've worked to leapfrog, and I'm pleased to say I've seen a lot of success, but we've got so much work to do. And we've really got to get with it. And we do have to start at a much earlier age because they've got to have a belief in themselves. They can't say, I could never learn that. And that's kind of where we are. So that's my philosophy about going at this. And so far, it's worked pretty well. It's worked pretty well. I haven't had a big stumble, so I'm looking forward to the next challenge.
Wow, I'm looking forward to hearing about. Okay, so you left previous universities and you ended up at San Diego State, and you helped start this academy. First of all, tell us about this magnificent program, because this is the first time I heard of a university doing it. So can you tell us about
The San Diego State University is a really strong place. It's done a lot. It's got a good reputation. And I even learned this year that they could play round ball pretty well. But the point is that the dean of the College of Sciences said, we've got graduate programs and degrees in cybersecurity. We've got some in the backgrounds in engineering, etc. It's there. But we could do more if we could find a way to get more seats in the places they're needed, but not have to wait 4 years, because quite frankly, the way things are moving, what we're buying in technology is old when you install it. And then if we're trying to get people ready to go in, we've got to know what is needed in industry or in security with the Department of Defense, etc. And we've got to know how to put it together. So who do you get? You get the best of the practitioners. And right now, I have 72 across the country that are absolutely aces. And they are working, but if I need them and they want to teach and inspire, they do it. And so they're the ones. We're developing what companies are saying they need now in the way of education. They're developing the curriculum, and they're coming in. They can enroll. In 14 weeks, they can have a big step up. And if you've had no experience, obviously, you're going to have to struggle a bit. If you come in with an engineering degree or a computer science degree, maybe all you need is a deep dive in pen testing. But you've got to know where you're going. And one of the things that I found at the University of Nebraska and then at Southern Cal, I was at Alabama, and I was at University of San Diego as well. What I found was when you have people that can come in and get something right away, you've got their attention and they'll work with you. And so how do you do it? You get partnerships. And I found someone when we started this at San Diego State that I had worked with when I was there years before. And that was Basu. He owned Global, I'm stumbling here. Come on.
That's okay. That's okay.
What goes first, the memory or the hearing? But Basu sold his company, and he has built Haiku. And Haiku is a gamification approach to teaching cybersecurity. He's got it nailed to a T. He will work with us and is on putting in what our curriculum needs so that students can not only learn, but then they can practice and they can do and move through, and it gives them the certificates and they can send it directly from their test to LinkedIn and to the company where they want to apply. Because some of the companies that I've interviewed and worked with say they go to a campus and they interview kids and they ask them, tell me about your experiences with cybersecurity. And they may say something about cloud computing or something about pen testing, or anyhow, they would say, well, tell me what you did with that. Oh, well, we read about it. That doesn't cut it. That doesn't cut it. If you haven't experienced it, you can't go and put the button in the chair and get started quickly. And so with Eric Basu working with us, he is making that gamification opportunity. He's letting it start at San Diego State University. I can't thank him enough. It's not going to be exclusive, nor should it. It's not cost prohibitive. And we are giving it to students that come in and register in our program. And they're getting it. And then they can continue it as they go forward.
Hold that thought. We got to take another station break. But I want to come back. I want to do a deep dive into this and certificates and the courses and et cetera, so we can give our viewers and our listeners a better understanding of this. But I think it's fascinating, Dr. Wendy. I think it's fascinating. So we're going to take a station break. If you want to be part of this conversation, go to the comments. Just ask any question you like. Promise you, I'll get you on the screen and we'll get you an answer. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back with some more Dr. Winnie Callahan shortly after the break. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and my special guest, Dr. Winnie Callahan, is here, and we're talking about the Academy at San Diego State as it relates to cybersecurity and other things that dealing with the shortage and in that technical field, much needed technical field, and she's putting it down. She's telling you how it is, and we need to get more people involved. We need to get our young folks involved. And if you are ready, just like she had mentioned a few minutes ago, if you already, got some experience or trying to gain experience, this 14-week program, which we're going to talk a lot more about that one, that is at San Diego State right there, and probably at the other universities around the country. She's going to tell us about that as well. This is a chance to grasp 4 years of knowledge in 14 weeks. However, once you get the knowledge, you still have to apply it. You have to get the experience. I've been in cybersecurity for over almost 40 years myself. And once you understand what it is, you see it's unlimited for its opportunities, for its jobs, for its helping our great country, for its helping countries around the world. Because technology is emerging and it's going to continue to do that. So, Dr. Wendy, so let's talk about that 14-week program again. I know you started out. So how do you all go about, first of all, identifying the right students? Because everybody might not be the right students for that. Also, the courses that are required in industry that you want to teach first. Because once you get to the jobs or wherever that is, it's still a learning experience depending on the companies that you're working for. And they have to understand that you have to have the right people there to teach the newcomers to be able to grasp this. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Well, what we do is we look at and we find out from companies, what do you need? We don't think we know, we get it from them. And then we have the right people work with them to put the content in so that it's germane. Now, that's general the classes, But if a company wants to bring in new employees and do their in-house training, we'll do that for them if they work with us. We're very flexible to work with companies and to work with individuals. Our hope is that since this is online, it doesn't matter where people live, and they can go at their own pace to take the classes. There is a limit on the time, but it's more than 14 weeks. They've got a year to get that finished if life gets in the way. But the 14-week class would be focused on areas like risk management, or like ethical hacking, or cloud computing, or pen testing, or, oh Lord, AI, now that's in the middle of everything. But the point is, we will build the programs based on the need coming from the people that need it. And then we have the instructors that are the best in those fields that are delivering that content. And different than paying for a big course, a master's degree or whatever in a college, we have reasonable fees, and you have a way to pay it off. It's not all due in one fell swoop. And I'm going to back up again since I butchered. Eric Bassu's a former Navy SEAL. And I worked with him when I was living in San Diego. We were friends. And he had always wanted to build a cyber range, but with real meaning toward training. And he's done that with haiku. And so we have the opportunity, and we're giving it to the students when they enroll for their use. It's a gamification, but it's on target. And then they get their results, and that can go direct from them, either the badge or the paper, to a future employer, or to LinkedIn to put it up. So we're doing everything to work with people through the full cycle. And we're going to continue to do that so that we place them. And I will tell you that in the programs, the big ones that I've built, we had literally one program, I had recruited 2,500 students in within 2 years. And we had 1,115 partners from the corner barbershop to the Fortune 100 and Fortune 50 that worked with us. Once you get people excited and they know that you're listening and you're going to give them the things they need, you kind of have to be discreet about who you pick. That's a great problem to have. And students come because they know I could have an internship, maybe even while I'm doing this course, at a company that I'm interested in going into. And that's a pretty good carrot to be waving. But the bottom line is, because we're doing it the way we are, with real practitioners and looking at real needs, we can be very flexible. We also have done several programs for organizations. But again, we're here to take what's needed, find it for you, and get it out there. And so people need only not come with an engineering degree. If they do, great. If they've never had a college course, and yet they've been working in the Navy or the Air Force or you name it, and they've been doing cyber work, let's see those skills and give them a validation so that they've got something that they can take and get to the next job. One of the people that I've interviewed in the last week really brought it home to me, because since my husband was a veteran, I've got a son that's a veteran, I've got a son that's an engineer. It was hard for me to hear so many times the ones that don't come out with the things already in their pocket in terms of degrees and all, when they get out of the meaningful service they've been doing, they aren't able to get a job that's not really demeaning. And when you've been in a position of authority or confidence where you've been looked to as doing meaningful stuff, I'm not putting anybody down, but going from that type of situation to having to go to fast food and can't get another opportunity, that's why we lose a lot of our vets within 2 years to suicide, etc. And so I don't look at cybersecurity just in the need for it that we really have as a nation to get caught up at the world and stay on top. But this is a service job, so we don't have the homelessness situation and we don't have the suicides. It just kills me to think that a lot of people feel that they've failed and they have nowhere to go and nobody knows what I'm capable of doing. That's not too easy to live with. And so I'm looking at this program at San Diego State. Look where it's located. I've lived in San Diego. There's a lot going on there. This is an ideal spot to put this because of its reputation and background and the people it's educated. But with it online, so you're deployed and you're in England, so what? You are working out of somebody's garage because you've got a project that you can't let go of. Doesn't matter where you are, you can get it and on your own time, and we'll be happy to work with you. And so the program is extremely flexible. And as we did with General Cartwright and 2 or 3 others, when they wanted something done for their people, we can do it. And my only request to him was, okay, so you give me your top officer, and he gave me his next in command, and we'll put the program together. And also, I would tell you that we built from scratch the first programs in cybersecurity for 350 Los Angeles police personnel and Los Angeles sheriff's personnel, because it's not always the technical people that go out in the car to the crime. So you have to teach the first arriver. So you see technical equipment, you see thumb drives, you see a computer. What do you not do? And what can you do? So that becomes valuable in maybe finding who the murderer was or whatever was happening there. And so this is an important job for so many reasons, but our nation needs it badly.
We need it badly. I got a question though. For the people that are locked in on this this conversation that's in other states that say, wow, I want to do this. And they're probably asking, do you have to be enrolled in San Diego State? And it's because out of state fees and you know, all of that stuff.
Thought you'd never ask. No, I'm just kidding. You are really good. I'm enjoying this. They just need to apply, and our email address is cyberonline.sdsu.edu, and you simply pay for the course, our course is, and you become a student at San Diego State, and you get some of the benefits that the students that are fully enrolled and paying full amount for a degree can get. So it's a great deal. You do not have to pay the tuition for San Diego State. You go in on the Cyber Online, and you can take it. And then, like I said, we do have an orientation program to kind of get a level so people kind of know where they're going to stand. But the thing that I find exciting is experience does count. And I can't shout that loudly enough, because I don't want us to turn away people that were so busy doing it so well till they didn't have time to go get the papers. That's kind of silly.
Hold that thought. We got to take another station break. This is so exciting, and I think you just delighted a lot of folks because they probably thinking, "Oh, how much is this going to cost? How tuition fees, all that type of stuff." If you're listening to this, I tell you, we need more cybersecurity experts. This is the opportunity here to get those skills or get an understanding and develop those skills. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna pick it up with Dr. Winnie Callahan. If you
I'm
want to
going to recruit you. You're going to teach.
if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to whatever platform you're watching on. Ask any questions you like, and I promise you, I'll get you on. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. I'll see you shortly after the break.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phrases and stages. These experiences teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to It's Your Life with James Cooley. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get you equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. You know, I'm just sitting here. I'm just soaking this all in because I wish these opportunities was there when I was a youngster, college, et cetera, all this. And with a high prestige university like San Diego State that's offering these type of courses for a critical field. Cybersecurity. I think all of you out there that are looking and watching this should take heed. Get your kids to jump into this. As you see, there's no out-of-state tuition or none of that stuff. You just pay for the courses that you're going to take. And when I tell you that the information and experiences that you're going to get out of this career field, cybersecurity, it's unlimited because as you continue to grow, you continue to expand. We call it evolve. You evolve. You're going to continue to evolve. Continue to learn. And you continue to grow within organizations. You know, so that's what it's all about. And so, Dr. Wendy, this is such a great topic to talk about. I think we could probably spend 3-4 hours doing this. You know?
Well, I have to tell you, I don't know when I've ever enjoyed a conversation more. And I I just appreciate it because we're like minds and we see what has to be done. I want to step back, if I might, just on getting kids turned on. One of the things that I've done in working with kids over the years is at early ages when we make a presentation to kind of get them excited about what they can do, is have them take out a piece of paper and write down at that grade level what they want to do when they graduate from high school. And it depends on where they are on that train as to how much they've thought it through. But then we take them up and we have given them envelopes with addresses. And when they graduate, we send them back what they were planning so that they can see if they made their mark. Obviously, it doesn't work 100%, but it makes them think about it. It's just one of those things when you have a chance to talk to young kids, you know, that makes them think and set a goal. And if you meet the first goal, then what do? You set another goal. And what do? And so I found that beneficial through the years because I've been at this a very long time.
I believe that just what you're saying and my teachings, and I do teach, by the way, I teach youth, young adults that you got to dream big, meaning that if you dream small, life is going to deliver you small things. So you got to dream big, dream bigger than the room, bigger than the sky, dream big. You also have to think big. Because I believe that in anything we do, we have a destinations, but the ultimate goal is our destiny. But there is going to be several destinations that you are going to be on. But I believe that for every destination, there is a start and finish date where you drop off that one and jump on the next one. So dream big, think big, and be big because there's going to be some setbacks somewhere along the line. You just have to rethink them in order to jump back on track, back on path, and stay focused. And I am feeling this, Doc. I'm feeling this Cybersecurity Academy. I'm feeling it, and I just hope that some of our listeners out there that's not sure about what they want to do in life, this is an opportunity to restart, refocus. We call it jump start, but so we got about 3 minutes left in the show. What are some of the takeaways, Dr. Wendy, that you want our viewers and our listeners to get from this absolutely magnificent interview?
Well, it's where to apply, and that's through the website. And to call us, all the information is there. We'll talk with you. And then there are ways in which funding can be arranged. And we find a lot of companies will pay for the course if the person's at that company. But the people coming out of the military, they have the opportunity to ask for help with the GI Bill, etc., or from the VA, and they're getting it when they ask. At least that's been our experience so far. But if you can think about the fact that this costs so much less, and there's ways in which you can break down the payment, you can be off and running. And to your point, you can get your toes wet and find out what it's all about before you're in a program where, my God, I have to stay in this for 3 or 4 years because I've started it, but I don't think I want to do it. Okay. And you don't want to play that game. And so this is not competition for San Diego State University. They've got the degrees. But this enhances their ability, as the Dean Roberts says, from the College of Sciences. This gives us yet another way to help meet the country's needs and the shortfall locally and nationally by having these certificates. So it doesn't mean Okay, I get a certificate in whether it's ethical hacking. Maybe after that, I say, I think I do want a degree. Okay, that's fine. Or maybe they say, I want to go and take the cloud one now and get the details because they'll stack. And so we're here to help, but I want to plead to the country, be it San Diego State or somewhere else. As a country, we need more people going into cyber technology and security fields, because right now our lunch is beginning to be eaten by some of the people that I couldn't speak to if I had to, because I don't speak that language. And the other thing that's important is we have some people that are in jobs and they would like to pivot. This is a perfect way to do that.
It's a perfect way. We're out of time, Doc. I want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I would love to have you back again if the time permit. So I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another great show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning into the James Cooley Show every day. And I tell you, always dream big, think big, and be big. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life. See you tomorrow.